right, 30 seconds to air. Here we go, guys.
Today's episode is hopefully going to be an eye-opener for this young man, Chaz. He was once a good student and a star athlete, but now he's facing prison after escaping police custody, causing an 8-hour televised manhunt, if you can imagine that.
This ain't just a TV show, like this real life. This is how it is in the hood.
He's a teenage gangster with a pretty extensive rap sheet.
If they ain't got me on camera, no face, no case.
How long did it take you to learn this accent?
I didn't
No,
learn
you
the
go
accent.
in and out of an accent.
Because I'm trying to sound proper on TV.
Chaz is facing 5, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 felony counts. And one of the biggest questions today is his future going to be behind bars, or are we going to have a chance to do something to help him? Well, I'm bringing in some backup, someone who really knows what that means.
Prison life, man, is a whole different ballgame.
I'm not afraid of prison. I'm just scared of the time I'm gonna lose while I'm in there.
You're just not smart enough to be afraid of prison.
That's actually why I came to talk to you, Dr. Phil. So if you was in my shoes, what would you do?
I would keep myself off of the streets. I wouldn't be out after dark. I wouldn't be anywhere that would create problems. I would make a choir boy look like a thug. Let's go see if we can straighten this kid out and keep him from getting into more trouble.
Dr. Phil, it's showtime. Let me bring you back here, please.
In 3, 2, 1, roll 45, take track.
Today's going to be a changing day in your life. You've never had anybody working harder to bring you to the threshold of change than right now. Well, 2 months ago, a teen named Chaz was the center of an intense police manhunt that made news headlines after escaping from handcuffs in the back of a police car. Take a look.
A manhunt is on right now. Detroit police searching for this man right here. He's a teenager who escaped police custody.
16-year-old Chaz Taylor of Muskegon. This is a photo that the police are sharing, and in the past 10-15 minutes or so, we've seen special operations officers about to head into an abandoned building where they suspect he could be. The teen from Muskegon had been part of a Job Corps training program in Detroit. Police say he took a bad turn and was caught with a concealed weapon, then tried to fight with officers during his arrest this morning.
It's a relief that he's been found, but it's kind of not when my husband tells me that my son is all bruised up.
Also at the laundromat across the street, a worker telling us Taylor has been seen in the area before, armed with a gun.
Well, Chaz, who is now 17, could be sentenced to 10 years in prison, but his mom, Dana, says her son was a star athlete who has fallen in with a bad crowd.
My 17-year-old son, Chaz, is currently facing 5 felonies because of the police manhunt he was involved in. Someone called the police and told them he had a gun. Because of that, he got arrested. When the police removed him from the car, Chaz took off running and then hid in an abandoned building, causing a 7.5-hour standoff. The 5 felony counts against him are assault with a dangerous weapon, assault and resisting arrest, unlawful escape, and assault and battery. He could get 10 years max in prison. All of this is absolutely mortifying.
Jail doesn't scare me. The people in there don't scare me. If you do the crime, do the time.
He just wants to be hood so he can hang out in the streets all day.
Live by the streets, you die by the streets.
Chaz failed a drug test last month. He tested positive for marijuana.
Like, once you see people driving down the street every day, they just get to know you. Like, I done took taxi cabs so damn much that the taxis be smoking with me, for real. Like, I'll blow wood with a taxi driver.
He has money. I don't know where he gets it from because I don't give it to him. He joked with me that he was selling drugs. Then he says, "I'm just playing, Mom." There has to be some truth to what he's saying.
I make money from regular people, any hustle. Making that money. I'm a businessman.
Last year, we got into a fight because he snuck his girlfriend into our house. He ended up punching a window out and got 18 stitches. I'm at the end of my rope with Chaz. I've thought about when he turns 18, and it makes me cry because there's nothing I can do to control him. I'm terrified that he might lose his life.
Well, Dana, you're in a pickle, right?
Yeah.
You're his mother. And so you're saying, this is my baby who, until a few years ago, was charming and a great kid and a good student and an athlete. And now he's gone out and done some really stupid things.
Yes.
He got caught with a gun. Where'd he get the gun?
I have no idea.
You certainly didn't give it to him. You didn't help him buy it, or
no.
Did you know he had it?
I did not.
And what do you think he was doing with that gun?
I think he was trying to show it off, make himself look cool.
You said he's a wannabe gangster.
Yeah. He wants street cred.
So, is he a poser, or is he really somebody that would take a gun and go out and shoot somebody and take their life?
No, I don't believe that he would ever actually shoot somebody and take their life. I don't believe that. I think that, yeah, he's posing.
So you say he's not that pathological?
No.
He says he got out of his handcuffs because you taught him how to do it.
No, he asked me. I'm double jointed in my thumbs.
Yeah.
And I thought that was cool. I never thought that my son would use that as a way to take handcuffs off.
You can make your hands smaller.
Yeah.
And he was just sitting there thinking, oh, you know, Mom said.
Yeah, I asked him too, like, what possessed you to do that? And he told me a different story. He told me that he used a wire out of a screen and a pop can to take that off.
Right. Well, I won't say how you do it. You also said when he was picked up, you were offended that he was bruised.
I was a little bit. I just was afraid that maybe the police beat on him.
I think you're damn lucky he wasn't shot.
I'm very lucky he wasn't shot.
Because he was arrested with a gun.
Yes. I was terrified that when I went home that night, I wouldn't have a son.
Now, I'm really interested in how you have reacted to what's gone on along the way. And I kind of put together a timeline all the way back to when he was 14. Because in April of 2016, he steals a car, goes on a joyride, and when the police get there, he doesn't stop. He takes off, so now there's a chase. And your response is, okay, you're gonna have to stay in the house.
Right.
Does that seem a little underreactive?
It does, but he came home 21 days after the fact. He spent time in the youth home, and when he came home, I didn't know what else to do besides make him stay at home. If he's at home, he can't be out getting in trouble.
All right, then in July of 2016, he's still 14, he admits to selling weed. He's caught sneaking $30 into your purse. He gets caught sneaking out of the house.
Yes.
He's 14, he's sneaking out of the house. And you Snapchat to his friends a picture of his empty bed, and you allow, since he didn't know any better.
No, what I did was, when I realized that he wasn't in his room, he did the old pillow trick under the blankets. So what I did was, I took pictures of that, and I knew he was watching my Snapchat too. That way he knew that I knew he wasn't home.
Okay, and then what happened then?
Well, when he came home, he got grounded. I took his bedroom door off. We watched him. Me and his dad worked on shifts. Mm-hmm. I was awake during the day with him. His dad was awake during the night to make sure that he could not get out of our house.
Well, who was watching him when he brought a girl into his bedroom?
He snuck her in through the basement window.
Okay, the 15, he just quit school.
He was on his way to getting kicked out of school, so I thought that I would put him in another program. And then he wanted to go to Job Corps, so we let him go to Job Corps in Detroit. Okay. I figured getting him out of my neighborhood.
So then he punches his hand through the glass, and an argument gets 18 stitches.
Yes.
Okay, and there were really no consequences for that other than the stitches.
Yeah. I have a hard time, I don't know why, but I have a hard time with punishment.
Mm-hmm. He jokes that he's selling weed. He gets kicked out of the new
Job Corps.
Yeah, the Job Corps. And there's no consequence for getting kicked out at all. You just dismiss the selling weed as a joke. He just thought, I was kidding about that. I wasn't really doing that. Then at 16, he goes to a block party, gets drunk, arrested, escapes custody. And so you ground him with staying home. But you don't take away his phone or his car.
Well, he can't drive his car anyway. His car's parked in my backyard. I don't know how else to punish him. I mean, talking to him and grounding him, I figured would work, because I didn't know what else to do.
Which is one of the reasons you're here.
Correct.
Good idea. Really, good idea.
And because when I told him, let's go to counseling, you know, you need a counselor, Dr. Phil's the only one I want to talk to. He was all about Dr. Phil. He wanted to talk to you about it.
Well, let's give him that chance. Chaz says he is a hood legend. I guess these are small hoods because there's 32,000 people in your town, right? I'm going to see for myself when we meet him next.
If you're doing street crime, you do street crime code. Ain't nothing fun when you broke. You broke, that's how you get locked up. What would Dr. Phil do if he was in my shoes? This ain't just a TV show, like, this real life.
Tomorrow, in a Dr. Phil exclusive.
A story making headlines around the world.
Was this adopted Ukrainian orphan?
Are you a 33-year-old scam artist?
Masquerading as a 6-year-old child.
Christine Barnett tells us the girl she adopted was no child at all, but a fraud who tried to kill her family.
She's painted you as an evil dwarf that's going to poison their coffee or stab them in their sleep.
Natalia would simply tell us, I'm trying to kill the boys.
Now.
They say you scammed them, lied about your age, and terrorized them.
For the first time.
It's not true at all.
She speaks out.
I just wanted people to hear my side.
Why did they want to get rid of you so badly?
The questions for her new family.
Were you at all concerned that we could be putting the children that we have in jeopardy?
The Dr. Phil exclusive.
I guess it comes down to whether or not you are an evil psychopath demon child that's come over here to murder everybody.
Tomorrow.
This is how I moved the handcuffs from behind me to in front of me, and I got out that cop car and escaped. So I took my thumb and I pulled as much as I can to the side like this until it turned, and I just did it until I heard it pop. And I moved the handcuffs as much down my wrist as I could so I could get a little bit of room. And I went just like this. Put them in front of me. It was a fire extinguisher right here, and I pulled the handle and the whole car started filling up with smoke. I took off running towards the fence, went like this, and did like a front flip over the fence. I swear I was running like 15, 20 miles per hour. Could not catch me.
Chaz says he's just hustling and doing what he has to do to get money.
I may be only 17, but people know me on these streets. I don't gangbang, I'm in an organization. I do whatever I gotta do to make that money. If you ain't got street cred, nobody know you in Muskegon's. I know everybody on this block, and that block. You gotta know your blocks. Muskegon's dangerous. People crazy out here. There's only like 32,000 people, and we got one of the top crime rates in America. How does that happen? This is my cousin Man-Man's memorial. This is a sad story, actually. He passed away, he got shot right here in this alley. This flower right here symbolizes my cousin Jamal's memorial. This is where he passed away over some petty that they call robbery. My mom is very worried about me. She don't want me to be a statistic. See how I turned out. Skipping school, smoking weed, getting in stolen cars, getting locked up, and I just look at it now and I'm like, damn, I'm finna go to prison. As long as you know how to use your hands, you can always make money. Ain't nothing fun when you broke. You broke, that's how you get locked up, because you get locked up trying to make money. I do want more than just street credit. You gotta have goals. You gotta have a plan, because if you don't got a plan, it's not gonna work. And don't jump in these streets and try to make money if you ain't gonna stick to the street code. You see what this say? Hear no evil, see no evil, say no evil. If you're doing street crime, you do street crime code. What I learned in the streets was a smart person learns from their mistakes, but a wise person learns from other people's mistakes. What would Dr. Phil do if he was in my shoes? If he had to grow up how I did, if he had to grow up poor, some people grow up not having no money at all. Because I know my dad, he came from the struggle. My mom, she came from the struggle. I'm used to seeing that's normal to me. On Dr. Phil, a lot of people that claim they in that street life, a lot of people that try to play that tough role. I can actually back up what I'm talking about. This ain't just a TV show, like this is real life. This is how it is in the hood. You look beautiful, man. It's nice to meet you, Dr. Phil.
Good to meet you. I'm glad you're here for a variety of reasons. You've decided that you'll get outside the mainstream and just hustle the streets, and that's where you'll make your fortune.
No, not at all. That's just, you know, it's like, how do I put it in words that you understand? Because we don't have the same point of view or the same opinions. So I'm gonna try to say it like this.
Okay.
Like, I'm not trying to say that's how I make my fortune or anything like that. That's just how I make my money right now. It's not a plan. It's not something I plan.
Well, tell me what your thoughts are. Don't let the suit fool you, boy.
Hey, you ain't fooling nobody. You a regular person just like me.
Yeah, so you don't know where I've been or what I've done. Just tell me what you think. What do you do out on the streets?
Make money.
How?
Does it really matter? Like, I'm on bond, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna incriminate myself on TV.
It's obviously something you don't want to say, so
of course. Yes,
it's illegal.
Yeah, you could say that.
You say, I don't understand. You have a whole language system that you can help me understand. I kind of made a list of your Chazisms here.
Dang! Y'all really, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you said, I sell motivational speaking and happiness.
Oh, yeah, I'm a good person. I'm like one of the best people to talk to if you need
I know I'm cute. Everybody knows my name. I'm legal now. I'm grown as hell. My tee-up time.
Tee-up time?
What's that?
Tee-up time is like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you about to go up. Like, you about to have fun. Like,
okay.
You just lose all house training.
Okay, I'm a goat.
That's like...
Greatest of all time. I'm a hood legend.
Only reason I said that, I said I was a hood legend because I ran the whole 10th precinct of Detroit. And everybody talks about how tough Detroit police are. How y'all let a 16-year-old boy escape that long, though?
How long did it take you to learn this accent?
Accent? I didn't
No,
learn
you
the
go
accent.
in and out of an accent.
It's because I'm trying to sound proper on TV.
And you have 5 felony counts against you, right?
Yeah, but hopefully I can get them to drop some of them charges. Hopefully. But I don't think they will. They're gonna send me to prison. Like, I got a strong feeling they're gonna do that. And that's actually why I came to talk to you, Dr. Phil. Like, you give really good advice. So if you was in my shoes, what would you do?
That's a really good question. And I'm gonna tell you exactly what I would do, because I think you're asking an honest question.
I know.
And so I'm gonna answer it right after the break.
When Chaz was 14, he got caught up in an incident with a stolen car. Chaz was driving. He led the cops on a high-speed chase for about 20 minutes.
I went on a little ride in the car. My cousin let me drive it. I loved it. I went like 80, 90. First time driving, it took like 7 blocks. They charged me for unlawfully driving away in a motor vehicle. I ain't steal it, though. If they ain't got me on camera, no face, no case.
Well, Dana says she doesn't know where her son, Chaz, is getting his stacks of money, especially when he is facing 5 felony charges for carrying a concealed weapon, assault with a dangerous weapon, assaulting a police officer, escape from lawful custody, and assault and battery. Now, Chaz asked me before the break what I would do if I had 5 felony charges against me. The first thing I would do is understand that there are certain expectations of me as a young man. And I would do everything I could do to project 2 things: remorse and a new path.
You see where I'm at, though.
No, listen to me. You asked the question, hear the answer.
Okay.
I wouldn't be cavalier about it. I wouldn't be smug about it. I wouldn't be doing rhymes like no face, no case. I wouldn't be saying things like, I'm not afraid of prison.
I mean, I'm not afraid of prison. I'm just scared of the time I'm gonna lose while I'm in there.
You're just not smart enough to be afraid of prison.
You see, I'm very intelligent.
No, I know you are.
I'm very smart. I'm a very smart young man.
No, I think your raw intellect is really very good.
Have you ever been to prison, Dr. Phil? Do you know what it's actually like in there? Have you ever been locked up?
Have I ever been in prison?
Have you ever been locked up? At all?
No.
Have you ever been detained?
No.
Okay, you don't know what it's like in there.
Yeah, let me tell you, I've spent more time in prison than you have spent in school.
That's a lie.
I would, number one, have my butt back in school tomorrow morning.
You see, but I actually am enrolled in school.
No, you have to listen to me. I would have myself back in school tomorrow morning. I wouldn't be enrolled, I would be there. And I would be a model student. I would be doing everything I could possibly do to demonstrate to a judge that if you take me out and put me behind bars, you are disrupting momentum that I have created a positive way in life. I would be looking at everything I could do to demonstrate remorse. I would be looking at everything I could do to volunteer with kids. I would be looking at everything I could do to create a positive impact on my community. I would be living at home with respect. I would be mowing the yard. I would be out planting flowers in the flower bed. I would be going to school in the morning. I would be staying there and pounding erasers at the end of the day. I would be going to the boys club and asking if there's things I could do to volunteer. I would be down at the church seeing if there's something I could do down there with those less fortunate than myself. I would keep myself off of the streets. I wouldn't be out after dark. I wouldn't be anywhere that things could even happen around me that would create problems. I would make a choir boy look like a thug.
All right.
And I tell you that because I have spent most of my professional career as a litigation consultant, and I was trained as a forensic psychologist, and I have made recommendations to the court about what they should do with people exactly like you, and that's exactly what I look for, and that's exactly what I base my recommendations on, and that's exactly what's going to happen to you. Dana says her husband blames her when it comes to their son's out-of-control behavior. We'll meet him next.
My husband and I argue a lot over Chaz. He thinks our son needs stronger discipline.
Dana feels guilty for punishing Chaz. She always lets him off the hook for everything he does.
I'm way too easy on Chaz. I don't want to take anything away from him. I feel like if I take from him, he's just going to take from other people.
I just walk away. There is no point trying to get through to Dana because she's going to win. How do you control a kid when you're not allowed to?
Well, Chaz's father, Chaz Sr., says that he's tried to discipline their son, but his wife always puts a stop to it. What do you think about the advice that I'm giving your son?
I think it's correct. I think he needs to be punished. You just can't run around the streets doing what you want. And like I tell him all the time, you know what I'm saying? You might have a little respect on the streets right now because of the kids these days. To me, all these little gangsters going around right now, they all soft. They don't know what hard is. And like I told him, one day when you turn 18, I'll go show you what hard is. If I don't, the government will.
We have a criminal defense attorney here, former district attorney Mark Davis, and he says jail damn sure should scare Chaz. He just asked me a question in earnest about what I would do if I were him. What do you think of my answer, Mark?
That was excellent. It was excellent. When you're dealing in the criminal court, you have to understand what the process is. The first thing the prosecutors want to know is, what's the history of your client? And we've seen on this show a timeline of you doing stuff that they're not going to look too kindly upon. If you've done all the things that Dr. Phil has suggested that you do, then I'm in a little bit better position to try to defend you. But if you can't do that, if you look like you show no remorse, if you look like you want to be the tough guy, if you look like you want to have street cred, you're going to be in a world of hurt. I feel bad for your mom about what's going to happen to you.
Ryan Blair is here. And Ryan, you said that there was a time in your life when you hustled on the streets, and that's a dead-end road, right?
Yeah, you know, Chaz, you have a lot of potential. You got a big heart. You got a charm to you. There's something about you that you can actually take this pain that you're in, this pain that you put your family in, and you can turn it into something much bigger than the little game that you're playing right now. So I've been able to start businesses and generate hundreds of millions of dollars in success because I channeled that thing that made me different, that thing that made me stand out, into something very special. And I turned myself into a legal entrepreneur from an illegal entrepreneur. If you could do it illegally, you could do it legally. And it's a lot easier to do it legally than illegally.
I understand that. Completely.
100%.
I understand that. I have a question, though. Why were you hustling?
I was poor. I wanted to make money. I lived on the streets. I was in and out of juvenile hall. Same thing that you're doing.
What made you change? Like one day, you just woke up and was like, I don't want to do this no more? Or you just smoked?
You know what made me change? Is I had a moment like you should be having right now.
He went from the streets to a successful entrepreneur. He has written a best-selling book called Nothing to Lose, Everything to Gain, How I Went from Gang Member to Multimillionaire Entrepreneur.
What you bang?
And he absolutely has done what it takes to turn it around.
You asked the question. You can read the book.
I said, read the book? You don't represent on camera? Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
That's smart.
Chaz says jail doesn't scare him. Well, maybe he'll change his mind after he meets my next guest. We'll be right back.
Friday on an all-new Dr. Phil.
My mom is addicted to painkillers.
She throws herself down the stairs so she can get pain pills.
Oh, absolutely.
A desperate family.
You yanked the hair off her head in anger.
That's Friday.
I feel that Chaz will end up in prison over his 5 felonies. There's tough guy Chaz, who thinks jail is a joke. Then there's the child Chaz, who doesn't understand what jail really is.
Jail doesn't scare me in the slightest. Losing my freedom still. That's time I can't get back. Me personally, I feel like I'll be all right. Half the city locked up right now in the county jail. So you're gonna send me to prison with my friends that got locked up for doing bad stuff, and you're gonna keep me in there with all of them? I'm gonna get out probably 10 times worse. I'm gonna be real with y'all. If I go to prison, you always got that number on your back. That ain't never coming off.
My next guest, Joseph, is a former Los Angeles gang member and says he has a few words for Chaz. I've known Joseph for a good while now, and his son Joey is here with him. And I find that interesting because you're here, your dad's here. Joseph, we've talked about this already, and he's playing at this life. You've lived this life. What do you want to say to him?
You know, prison life, man, is a whole different ballgame. You know, you're half white and you're half black, correct?
Yes, sir.
So when you hit the state, you're gonna choose one.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Which side are you gonna choose?
Neither. I'm choosing mulatto.
You have no choice. You're gonna run with the blacks or the whites. You have no choice. So if you choose the blacks, the whites are always gonna hate you. If you choose the whites, the blacks are always gonna hate you. And that may not be in your chest, but it's outside of your realm now, because you're put in their world. And then you have to do, excuse my language, you have to do things that you may not want to do. You're a good-looking dude. I love women, but you're a good-looking dude. And let me tell you, going to the joint is nothing nice. And you seem like you got a great heart, man. You got some charisma. Like my man's over here said, you got beautiful charisma. And that's with all due respect. And you a track star, bro? Like you 17, you were faced with 5 felonies. You're gonna do prison time. I hope you don't, but you're gonna do prison time. But until you find it in you to live for something, your mom, you love your mom. I heard you have a little brother, right?
Of course.
This is my son, 21. I was gone the first almost 6 years of his life, man. He just graduated college, only because he gave me a purpose to live. When I came home from prison, I left them. They wanted to kill me because I betrayed the ones that I loved the most. But I had a purpose now, my son. And it's hard to stand on your own, but it's a beautiful thing when you actually stand on your own and you find that self-worth, because ain't nothing outside can touch you anymore.
Joey, he's turned this around, right? I mean, you've watched it since he's come back and actually made a different path in his life, right?
Oh, yeah, like 100%. Just seeing, I mean, I was 5'6" when he got out of jail, so just seeing how he's grown from then to now is amazing. He's a completely different person.
And you're the first in this family line to break the cycle.
Yes.
You didn't go the gang route. You're the first in this family to break that family legacy.
But you can do that. All this hustle, the game, put that into bars, bro. You teach him that. Your little brother looking up to you like an idol, bro. You God to him.
I don't know, and that's why I don't let nothing.
But let me tell you, he's gonna be like, gone, like faster than the police too. Nah. You don't want your little man to do that, right?
Of course not.
No. You gotta be that little brother, man. You gotta be that big brother and love him, bro. Because you can do that. I promise you.
We'll be right back. I'm back, and we're talking to Chaz and his family, and he's facing 5 felony charges. This is pathological behavior. This is something that is really not healthy. And I've brought somebody here today, and this isn't someplace that I'm sending you because you're not even eligible to do it. But this is Dr. Khaligi right here. Raise your hand. Now, I asked Dr. Khaligi to come here because he is the founder of Creative Care, and it is a family-owned and operated residential treatment facility, and they have lots of different arms to this treatment facility. And Dr. Khaligi, isn't it true that if you get into pathological behavior like this and you assume a role at a young age, and it is perpetuated and allowed to perpetuate by parents, this gets so ingrained in your personality that it turns into and can turn into a mental illness, whether it's a personality disorder like antisocial personality or whatever. This actually becomes so toxic that it becomes a mental illness.
Well, without a doubt, we already see a lot of evidence that there's been no consequence for your behavior, and you continue to check the limits. Where is the limit of what I'm allowed to do? So what we've always dealt with patients that are adults, they start very early, whether it's drug addiction or having a problem with the law and boundaries. This doesn't get any better until you have a very serious consequence.
You can actually turn this around if you will do it. And I will get you help in doing that. I'm going to get you a coach to help you do that, but you've got to be willing to lean into it.
I appreciate you a
lot.
All
right. I want to thank my guests today. A special thanks to attorney Mark Davis. A special thanks to Ryan Blair. Thank you so much. And the founder and executive director of Creative Care, Dr. Khaligi, thank you so much. Of course. Thanks to Joseph and his son Joey. Thank you guys for being here. Coming up, it takes a powerful person to change a life. But imagine if that person was only 5 years old. We're going to hear all about that after the break. Well, my next guest is a very special and dear friend of mine who has appeared here many, many times throughout the seasons. He's also a personal friend away from all of this. I'm talking about Mitch Albom, and he is here to talk about the first nonfiction book that he's written in over a decade. It's a very personal story about a 5-year-old Haitian girl who changed Mitch's life and a whole lot of other people's forever. It's called Finding Chica, a little girl, an earthquake, and the making of a family. Take a look.
Chica was basically our daughter. She was a doll. She was bossy.
You should go to bed right now.
She was independent and she was fiery.
That's a grown-up toothpaste.
I don't care.
And I don't look at it as we lost a child. I look at it as we were given one.
I understand this.
Joining me is best-selling author Mitch Albom. So thank you for being here.
Phil.
Tell the viewers about Chica and how she came into your life and just all about Chica.
Well, ever since the earthquake in Haiti in 2010, I went to Haiti a couple weeks afterwards, got involved with an orphanage there, and in one of those moments where you don't know what you're saying, said, I think I can operate this place if you want me to. And they said, great. Chica was born 3 days before that earthquake. She was brought to us when her mother passed away. And then when she was 5 years old, I got a call from our director saying there's something the matter with Chica. Her face is drooping. And sure enough, we found out that, as they told us in Haiti, she has something on her brain. It's very big, and whatever it is, there's no one in Haiti who can help her. And so we brought her to America, hoping that American medicine would be able to, you know, fix whatever this was. And she'd be back in a couple months. And she never went back. She stayed with us for 2 years as we tried to find a cure for DIPG, which is uncurable.
You said one of the biggest lessons that you learned is that you didn't lose a child, that you gained one. What do you mean by that? Well, you can lament when you lose somebody. It's easy to do. But if you think about even the 2 years' time that we had with Chica changed everything for my wife and me. We didn't have children of our own. And all of a sudden, in our late 50s, we became parents. There was such a gift to have this happen to us later in our life. Well, Chica even talked about falling in love one day. Watch this little clip.
Why do you want to fall in love?
Because you're in love and I want to fall in love.
You want to fall in love with a boy like Mr. Mitch?
Kind of. Now I'm the boy that I ever met before. Okay. Because that's how you did it. You met Miss Janine. You haven't met her before.
You're right. Yeah.
How did this affect Janine? And how did it impact the two of you as a couple?
You know, when children come into your marriage, especially when you've been married for 20-plus years, it's just the two of you. And then all of a sudden, you got to make room.
Well, you talk about the things she taught you. In this next clip, Chica showed how much she loved to sing. Take a look at this.
Twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are.
Where you are?
No.
What you are?
Yeah.
Sure.
See, twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are.
It's a bit like Sonny and Cher, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
Mm-hmm. And even, honestly, even towards the end when she couldn't walk anymore and I had to carry her from place to place, and I mean everywhere, from the bed to the bathroom and everywhere, and we were sitting coloring one day and I looked at my watch, I realized I was late for work, and I popped up and said, Chica, I gotta go. She said, no, stay and color. I said, Chica, I have to work. She said, Mr. Mitch, I have to play. And I said, I know, Chica, but this is my job. And she said, no, it's not. Your job is carrying me. And, you know, after I laughed, I realized, wow, is that a brilliant statement? Because that's exactly what my job was, to carry her. And really, my life is now going to be carrying children. I'm at that orphanage every single month. I'm dedicated to it. I'll be there the rest of my life, and I want to see them all succeed. And if I couldn't see Chica live out her full life, then maybe, you know, her legacy can help her brothers and sisters there.
Yeah, and of course, you know that for her, that was her full life.
Yes, and we were blessed to have her in our life for a few years.
Well, I understand that all of the money earned from this book, which will be substantial, as all of your books are, is going directly to the Have Faith Haiti Mission and Orphanage, correct?
Yes, absolutely, every penny of it. That's the best legacy that she and I can do for those other kids.
I have a very special surprise for our audience. You are all going home with a copy of Mitch's book, Finding Chica. And this book is available now in stores and online, and I would really encourage everyone to read it. It is not a sad story. It is a story of celebration. It is a story of victory. It is a story that will uplift you. Pick it up and read it. You'll be glad you did. I want to thank all of my guests today, especially best-selling author and good friend Mitch Albom. For more information about today's show, log on to drphil.com. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I do read your comments. We'll see you next time.